everyone, my name is Sophia. Welcome back to my channel Love to Book, and today I'm bringing you a book review. So the book that I want to discuss with you guys today is Please Look After Mom. This is a South Korean novel written by Kyung Sook Shin, and she was the first woman to win the Man Asian Literary Prize Award with this very same book. So this is a paperback edition. It has 254 pages. I really enjoyed this book. I connected with the characters. Although it's quite a tragic story, I think there's a lot in here that you can relate to. I really enjoyed the writing on this book. Obviously, it was written in Korean and it was translated to English by Hyun Kim. And I don't know how accurate the translation is because,
well, let's say that my Korean is a little rusty.
I have a feeling that it's a really good translation. I read this book back in August and I gave 4.5 stars on Goodreads. And I know you're saying, Sophia, you can give 0.5 stars on Goodreads. Yes, I can. And I did. Like I said, I read it back in August and I'm only doing a review now because at the time when I finished, I didn't quite know what I would want to say about this book. I wanted to make sure I had like all my thoughts organized, and they're still not that organized, but I have to do a review before I forget everything about this book. So the whole premise of this story is we meet this family whose mother, Park Sonyo, disappears at the Seoul subway station after being separated from her husband. It's about the search for their mother, but it's also about realizing who their mother was and what was her role in their lives. So this book is divided into 4 parts and it has 4 different perspectives. So the first part is from the eldest daughter, second part is from the eldest son, the third part from the husband, and the fourth and last part is from the mother herself. I have to say that I connected and enjoyed much more the 2 first parts. They are told from the eldest daughter and the eldest son perspective, and I think that says a lot about me, and it will say a lot about the reader. I'm not a mother and I'm not married, so I think it's natural for me to lean towards the siblings in this family. So mainly I think this book is an ode to the sacrifices that mothers do for their children and families, and a lot of those sacrifices, they either go unnoticed or they're completely unappreciated by their own families because they're taken for granted. It's much about how we realize the extent of our mother's love when it's too late, when they're not with us, you know, in one way or the other. It doesn't mean that they pass away, it just means that, you know, whatever role they had in our life and whatever role they had in the family dynamic that everyone took for granted, it's just not there anymore. I also really love that there's a very rich Korean cultural presence throughout this book. Now, this is not a perfect book. I couldn't give it 5 stars mainly because how the mother is represented in this book and some of the things surrounding her. I don't want to give too much away because I really want you to read the book, but you know, there was like just a couple of things that got me like rolling my eyes, but it is what it is, and it didn't take away too much from the book, I do promise that. Some people might also have a problem with the ending. For me, when I finished reading, I was like, I need more. But after thinking about it, I realized that it was necessary to the story, in my opinion. You invest in this book and you invest a lot of feelings. You are not 100% rewarded at the end, but I think it makes this story better. So if you haven't read this book yet, I would recommend you to read it. I think there is going to be something in here for you to connect with, and if there's nothing at all that you connect with, I believe you can still enjoy it for the human aspect within the family relationships present throughout this novel. Go read it! So for the next part, I'm just going to discuss some of my favorite parts in this book. So if you haven't read this, it might be spoilery. Go read the novel and then come back and see if we have, you know, the same opinion.
Hi, welcome to the spoilery section of my book talk.
So the first thing that I want to share with you is my favorite character. And if you read this book, I want you to tell me who's your favorite character. Mine is definitely the eldest daughter. Her name is Shihan. She is the person that we start this book with and also the person that we finish this book with. She's a writer, and although she is the eldest daughter, she's still not married, and it's kind of a thing throughout the novel. She's the eldest daughter and she's still not married, and it's very important to her mother, and I think that says a lot about Korean society still. So that was pretty interesting to me. I just really like her. She's trying so damn hard to find her mother, and she keeps trying, and unfortunately that never happens, and it's really, really tragic. I really connected with this character, to be honest. I particularly liked the part where in the novel that she realizes that mom was not born as mom. You know, she always thought mom is just mom. Her mother must have had her own dreams, and that she has her own story to tell that she's not really aware of. Part that I'm talking about, it's like on page 27, and it goes something like, "You don't understand why it took you so long to realize something so obvious. To you, mom was always mom. It never occurred to you that she had once taken her first step, or had once been 3 or 12 or 20 years old. Mom was mom. She was born as mom. Until you saw her running to your uncle like that. It hadn't dawned on you that she was a human being who harbored the exact same feelings you had for your own brothers. And this realization led to the awareness that she too had had a childhood." This is definitely one of my favorite moments in the book. I could really, really relate to that because I think it's universal to every one of us. Another moment that I really like, I think it's again very universal, it's that Park Sun-yo's children, they don't ask themselves until when they're much older if their mother likes being in the kitchen. It's a place where they automatically think her mother belongs to without ever wondering if she even likes being there. You know, they see her mother, doing so much, and they never once offer help just because it's in their head is her mother's duty. It's what her role as a mother figure in the family is, and they realize much, much later that it must have been so hard for her, and I think they regret a lot not helping her. One of the critiques that I would like to address is that I think for some people Park Sun-yoo was too much of a selfless and kind of a person. And although I do have to agree that some of the things were exaggerated concerning the mother, I can understand how such a person can seem unrealistic if you haven't encountered such a person in your life before, but I have been very blessed to have more than one person like that in my family. No, she sacrificed a lot to make sure that her children didn't have to go through the same thing that she had to. I mean, I really like the end scene of this book. In fact, I think it's one of my favorite moments. I loved how we connected to the title of this book, and the last sentence of this novel is the title. Please look after mom. I think she says please twice. Wait. I think she says, yeah, please look after mom. I thought it was a really special moment of acceptance of her mother's probable death and, mostly of letting go. It's a scene where the eldest daughter, she's in the Vatican City. She's in a church looking at Mary holding her dead son in her arms. And it's there kneeling in front of the statue that she lets herself think that maybe her mother is not with them anymore. And although she can't say the words, please look after mom, in front of the Holy Mother, she eventually says it when she leaves the church, just outside the church. It was just basically her telling the Holy Mother, I had a job to take care of my mom. I couldn't do it, so I'm pleading with you to take that role on my behalf instead. You can tell in the book that it was really, really hard for her, and she barely manages to say these 4 words. I really like this ending scene. Tragic, but it is a beautiful ending. The story takes a really dramatic situation, to show the struggles and the wishes and hopes of everyday family, but I think it works really well, and I would definitely recommend this book. And it is over. I finished this book review. I know it was a little bit all over the place. I apologize. If you managed to get to the end of this video, congratulations, you earned my respect. Anyway, tell me if my review made you interested in the book, or if you already read it, what was your opinion on it? Did you like it as much as I did? Did you not really like it? Tell me. Comment down below because I want to know. This was Sophia with Please Look After Me by Kyung Sook Shin. I see you guys next time.